The first time she said it, I actually laughed. From now on, intimacy only every 3 months, Clara announced, arms crossed, standing at the foot of our bed like a judge about to sentence me. I chuckled, waiting for her to smirk back. She didn't. Her eyes stayed flat. I'm serious, David. I need space. You're too needy. Needy. That word hung in the air like a slap. After 12 years of marriage, needy was the last thing I thought I'd be accused of. So I said nothing. I just nodded and turned off the lamp. But that night, staring at the ceiling in the dark, I felt something cold settle in my chest. A quiet warning that something between us had shifted, and not for the better. For the next 3 months, I did exactly what she asked. I stopped trying. No morning hugs, no casual touches, no stolen kisses. I slept facing the other way. When she complained about work, I listened but didn't reach for her hand. When she came home late, I didn't ask where she'd been. If she wanted distance, she would get distance. First she seemed relieved. Then indifferent. And by the second month, she was smiling more. Just not at me. Started with her phone. The subtle tilting of the screen when I walked into the room. The sudden half-smile that didn't include me. The way she laughed, softly, privately, while texting. One evening I came home early from work. She was in the kitchen, phone in hand. Her voice low and warm in a way I hadn't heard in months. Okay, same place tomorrow, she said, smiling. When she saw me, she froze. Then, quick as a reflex, she said into the phone, "Yeah, Mom, love you too." The same mom she hadn't called in 3 weeks. I didn't confront her, not yet. My gut already knew the answer, but my heart wanted to be wrong. So I watched. I became a quiet observer in my own home. The perfume she started wearing again. Sweet, musky, the kind she'd abandoned years ago. The new lingerie tags I found in the trash. Tags for things I never saw her wear. The gym bag that stayed in her car, even though she rarely worked out. And then there was the call. Came late one night around 11:45. I was in the living room, scrolling through emails when her phone lit up beside me. She was in the shower. Ryan, speech balloon. The message preview read, "Can't wait to see you again." Froze. When she came out of the shower, hair damp, wrapped in a towel, she found me sitting there. Phone in hand, my world collapsing. "Who's Ryan?" I asked quietly. Her expression faltered for half a second before she recovered. "A coworker. Who can't wait to see you again?" She hesitated. Then, with chilling calm, she said, "You're overreacting." Overreacting. That was her shield for everything. I didn't sleep that night. My mind played every recent moment in slow motion. Her distance, her laughter, her coldness. It all aligned like a puzzle I never wanted to solve. The next day I followed her. Not something I'm proud of. But heartbreak turns logic into ashes. She told me she had a late meeting. I watched her car leave at 6. Then I drove after her, 2 cars behind. She didn't go to the office. She went to a small restaurant on the other side of town. Dim lights, cozy booths. And there he was, Ryan. You could tell from his posture, the easy confidence of a man who thought he belonged there with her. She laughed, touching his wrist, that same warmth she'd once reserved for me. I didn't go in. I didn't need to. I just watched, the world spinning slower, my heartbeat thudding so hard it drowned out every sound but its own betrayal. When I finally drove home, my hands were shaking on the steering wheel. She came home at midnight, smelling faintly of wine and something I couldn't bear to name. I pretended to be asleep. She crawled into bed, careful not to touch me. That's when I realized. This wasn't temporary. She wasn't drifting. She was gone. The woman who once reached for me in the dark was now reaching for someone else in daylight. Over the next few days, I carried on as usual. She thought she'd hidden her secret well, and maybe she had, until she told me something that broke what was left of me. It was breakfast. She sat across from me, sipping her coffee like everything was normal. "David," she said casually, "remember when I said intimacy every 3 months? Let's just keep it that way. It's better for both of us." I stared at her. "You mean better for you and Ryan?" Her cup froze midair. For the first time in weeks, I saw fear in her eyes. "I don't know what you're talking about," she said softly. I leaned forward. "The restaurant on Elm Street. Tuesday night. The man you can't wait to see again." Her face drained of color. She opened her mouth, closed it, then whispered, "You followed me?" "I had to," I said, my voice breaking. "Because my wife stopped being my wife months ago." For a moment we just sat there in silence. Then she whispered, "I didn't mean for it to happen." That line, the oldest one in the book. I laughed, a hollow sound that hurt coming out. "You didn't mean to betray me for 3 months straight?" Tears filled her eyes. "It wasn't about you, David." Felt empty, invisible. "You were always working and I—" "Stop," I said, standing up. "You asked for distance. You built the emptiness. And now you're blaming me for the space you created." Her tears turned into anger. "You think you're perfect. You think you've been easy to love." "No," I said quietly. "But I was loyal." And that was the truth that cut deeper than anything else. For 3 days after that we barely spoke. She moved through the house like a ghost, packing little things quietly. Makeup, shoes, the framed photo from our anniversary trip. On the 4th day, she said she'd stay with her sister for a while. I didn't stop her. I didn't beg or plead or ask her to stay. She left the way she had lived the last few months, with silence. When the door closed behind her, the house felt cavernous. I sat in the kitchen, staring at the empty coffee mug she'd left behind. It was the same one I'd bought her on our honeymoon. "To many mornings together," it said. Now even that felt like a cruel joke. Weeks passed. I tried to move on, work, gym, anything to fill the void. But nights were the hardest. The space beside me still smelled like her perfume. Then one morning she texted, "Can we talk?" I ignored it. 2 days later, another message. "I made a mistake. Please, can we meet?" I didn't reply. Because the truth was, she hadn't made a mistake. She'd made a choice. And I had made mine too. 3 months to the day since her rule, I sat at that same restaurant on Elm Street, alone. I ordered coffee, watched the door, half expecting her to walk in. She didn't. But strangely, I didn't feel anger anymore. Just release. When the waitress asked if I was waiting for someone, I smiled faintly and said, "Not anymore." Sometimes love doesn't end in fire. It fades in quiet decisions, in withheld touches, in words that go unspoken until they rot inside you. Clara had said she wanted distance. She got it. 3 months of silence, 3 months of space. Long enough for both of us to realize that sometimes the absence of love is louder than its presence. I stood, left a tip, and walked out into the cold night. The air felt clean, almost peaceful. And for the first time in a long time, I wasn't waiting for anyone to come back.